And good Sunday morning. It's almost 9 o'clock this morning, getting ready to go out to church. And I got my Schmitz for Congress shirt on here because it'll never happen not here in Indianapolis because it looks like the redistricting's been shot down by Rod Bray. Or has it? Apparently, there's some kind of law that says Rod Bray's got to have this special session. So him and Braun are they're in a little battle. See what happens with things. And in other words, what these guys have really done a great job. This super majority, they've managed to piss everybody off again. You know, they did that with the property taxes, made no one happy, not a person, I don't think. And now they've done that with this. I mean, there's people against it, and I know why. I mean, Democrats are going to be against it because they'll probably lose 2 seats. I mean, a lot of folks say, well, it might backfire. Oh, it ain't going to backfire. There's 800, over votes for Republicans in Indiana, and you only need about 130,000 to squash it. Say you double that, 300,000, you still got 500,000 votes to screw with about making these maps. So that's not the issue. The issue is, hey, are we going to have some Democrats representing us? And personally, I wouldn't have any problem with that, but I'm stuck in a Democrat area that the guy's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything for anybody that's not his persuasion or his party. So that being said, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But we do have some good shows this week. We have Whitty Reviews, and I'm coming to you on Whitty's channel here on YouTube. He does not do Facebook, but that's why we do the show on Tuesday, the 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock version of his toned down, air quotes. Who does that anymore? Toned down show from Saturday night. And I listened last night. And I'm elderly, so I can't go till midnight like these kids can. So, but he covers a lot of subjects. He's digging deep on what's going on, and it's sort of entertaining. I mean, he got a little bit. I don't even think he was drinking last night either. He got a little bit. He got animated a couple times on the show, but on Tuesday he brings a sort of a condensed version of that show to the Chateau de Mars Hill Studio Network. And I do appreciate him toning it down a bit because I tried to tell him, I said, this is a family show. So, but he's doing a good job. We both have press passes now, and we're getting ready for reorganization day. I know he's going to be watching from his computer, so to speak. And I'm going to be down there, boots on the ground, to see what's up with that. And, walking around with my press pass and acting so important and all that. It's going to be a good day. But anyway, you probably wonder, why do you have a bull rider back here in your backdrop? I'm like, well, I think that, right now it's pretty crazy going on in the Marion County GOP. So apparently Wednesday, Thursday, they decided that Natalie Goodwin decided to fire 3 of their hardworking township chair people. And you're probably thinking, oh, John, well, they're getting what they're deserved after what they did to you. I'm like, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I actually feel bad for these folks, even though they did not vote for me. They probably should have, but they did not vote for me for the county chair. But now they're out. And I thought it was very interesting. And I do appreciate all 3 of them answered my text message when I sent it to them. And I started with Becky Bechtel. I was on my way back from prison. Yeah, I was a visitor at the Newcastle facility for a church service out there. And by the way, I will be delivering the message to the church service out there next December for our third Thursday church that's run by inmates. And they've asked me to give the message. So I get to go be a preacher. I get to use my licensed ministry thing. I wonder if they're going to make me show my license. I don't actually have a physical license, but I am a licensed minister with United Church of Christ and Disciples of Christ. So anyway, I get to do that. I was coming back from that. I get a call from somebody and said, hey, Becky Bechtel has been fired. I'm like, oh. So I sent her a message, and yes, it's true. It's true. And not only that, she told me, hey, Cindy Mowry's gone too. So then I talked to another person, and they said, Michael Hart's gone. I'm like, oh, wow, what's going on? Now, these are 3 people that really went to war to get Natalie Goodwin elected to this county chair. And here we are 8 months, 9 months out, whatever that is, from March 1st. March 1st, they made it this long. They're out. So I don't know what's going on with this, but it does look like they're inserting Todd Young's people. So hear me out on this. This is my theory. This is my theory is that Todd Young is, I think there's a few people in the state that, not a few, there's a lot of people in the state that think he's a rhino. Now, that is a Republican in name only. That's what they call a rhino. And there's a lot of folks that are just like, he's not a conservative enough for them or this or that or whatever. Personally, I'm just going to tell you my personal opinion. I'm like, I'm okay with him either way. He could do what he's doing. He's building a machine. So I think part of that machine is going to be Marion County, because if you look at Marion County, there's still some people here that just aren't super Democrat and not super Republican. A lot of independents that will swing to somebody who's more moderate. And as you see, the Democrat Party nationally has gone pretty much way left. And if you don't believe me, just listen to Republicans. They'll remind you every day. But then the Republicans here in our state and the other thing are pretty much still, we hate immigrants and we're going to take your food. Their factions are like that. So Indianapolis probably leans more towards I would say left, or maybe more of a liberal or whatever you want to call it. So I think he's trying to get those folks here in Marion County that would vote for him, that maybe, if he puts a little effort into it, they will vote for him. And that will offset all these votes out in the state that consider him a rhino. So that's my theory. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does look like there is, I know that Brian Ganache is the new Washington Township chairman. And I've heard good things about him. I think I've met him, but I don't know him. I think Warren Township, where Michael Hart was, it's still open as far as I can tell. And I do not know who is in Franklin Township, but I have talked to Josh Mescaler, and he is not fired. And I am assuming that Dave Taylor, now Josh is Decatur, and I call them the stepchild of Marion County because there's only 16 precincts and 35,000 residents. They're pretty much corn farmers. Yeah, they're down there, a lot of farmland in that area. But and then Dave Taylor's Perry Township, and he's the vice chair for the Marion County GOP. So I imagine they didn't go that deep and fire him. But and then we have one in Wayne Township, and I reached out to him and no comment. But there's nothing going on in Wayne Township. That's where I live. Pike Township, Renisha Cole, based, solid, probably the best one out of the whole bunch. She's a very nice person. I like her a lot. So, and then we have Matt Huckleby. He's the up in Lawrence Township. He's Lawrence Township, but he's already in the Todd Young camp. So I'm sure he didn't go anywhere. I did not reach out to him. But there's a lot of stuff going on right now. It's very weird. So, I don't know if you've watched the movie Dodgeball. And when they talk about the strategy, he says, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. I don't know if it's going to work. But this is a really interesting strategy. So the folks that supported me at the reorganization for the Marion County chair, which was about a third of the party, and in my opinion, were a third of the party that does a lot of work. They were very good soldiers and doing the work. And now they're like, they're not so enthused to do the work. So the other part, most of those were mummy dummies, 300 people that were appointed, some at the last minute, some before the time limit, whatever, it doesn't matter. They rigged it and they got their result. They got Natalie Goodwin. And Natalie Goodwin's done absolutely nothing, absolutely zero since March 1st. And now those people that supported her, apparently not good enough. So I'm going to say they're not going to be real enthused to go out and do some work for this new group of people. So I don't know what this strategy means. Is this just another way to put another nail in the coffin for the Marion County GOP? Or is there something really bold coming here, Cotton, that's going to reignite things? And I thought it was very interesting that Cindy Mowry put some spin on it about, oh, well, the new person comes in, they always get their own people in there. I mean, come on, she's been the Franklin Township chair for years and years and years, and she's seen many new chairmen come in and He's not gone anywhere. So I just think that's very strange. It's like Stockholm syndrome. That's where you love your captors. And I think that there's several people suffering from Stockholm syndrome because and what's the remnants of this Marion County party. So stay tuned. We got some plans coming on the backside of this, but I know you're probably thinking, "Hey John, you got a little sidetracked there. What are the shows about?" Well, Whitty's going to do his normal recap of probably Saturday night, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about the Marion County GOP stuff, and then mouthwash. As I mentioned, I was at the prison out in Newcastle, and I'm a guy that if I want to find out about something like, say, the education system, so I substitute taught for a couple of years, a year back, to find out what was going on in our schools and how they're being taught, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Kids have a great respect for substitute teachers, but I can hold my own because I'm sort of a kid at heart myself. So they didn't have their leg up on me like they thought they would. We had a good time. I went to several schools around, in Wayne Township and Perry Township, and taught and learned about that. So I want to go to the prisons and see what that is. But we're going to talk about prison reform and what's going on. We got a guest, Jay Harvey, coming in. He has actually been to 382 prisons around the world and country, preaching the gospel and working with ministries that are in the prison. And I was there. He asked me as a guest, and I listened to him talk. And there's about 100 guys out of the 3,000 that are incarcerated out there in Newcastle. About 100 guys come in, and I was very impressed. I didn't know what to think going in. I didn't know what you watch Shawshank Redemption and some of these Scared Straight and that, and you're like, hey, what's it really like? But it's interesting, and I do think that there is some need for some reform. And as I say, the way you find out how to fix something is go in and talk to the janitor or the guys that are actually being, or the people that are actually doing the work in the trenches to find out what's needed. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. We got Jay Harvey coming on. He's going to be our guest. We're going to talk about the prison system. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. You're going to learn some stuff. Jay's very interesting, well-spoken, and all that good stuff. So we got Whitty Reviews at 8 and the Mouthwash Show at 9 on this Tuesday. This Tuesday, don't miss it. I think we're approaching our 5th year doing this. That just doesn't even seem possible that we've been doing this 5 years, but I think we're like 8 shows away from 5 years. So anyway, that's what we have. That's what we're going to do. And that's why I say I got the bull rider back there, because it's going to be a wild ride in Marion County here for a while. Let me check the contact. So, wait. Oh, look, we got Organization Day on Tuesday. So we'll probably touch on that. So old Slick's going to be talking about that one for sure. So it's like, and then also you need to watch the Whitty Reviews. Go back. And I don't think he'll probably cover this. He's going to be digging into these new Marion County Township chair people. I think he's already dug up some dirt on one of them. So yeah, that's his job. I'm just here trying to be a nice, like he says, a nice, cute, fuzzy little guy or whatever he calls himself. But he's going to go over how this is all works. And you notice that they didn't even do a press release. They didn't do anything. They just sort of did it in the dark of night. And even the gossip queen didn't even put anything out there. So, hey, that's of course we report on everything. Yeah, we report on. No, it's a one-sided hit piece machine over there. So, but anyway, we shall have some of that stuff this Tuesday on our show. We'll talk about that a little bit before we get Jay on. And so otherwise, have a good week. And we'll see you on both of those shows. And then you can also catch Whitty Reviews. He is only on YouTube on Saturday nights. You can go back and watch that show, but the chat is as interesting as anything. So that's what our show, we have a good chat, a loyal audience that'll make comments in the chat. Sometimes the chat outpaces the show, which we need to try harder then. So we're doing all that. So let's see. So yes, and Spiro, he says, have an abundantly blessed day. Spiro's a nice guy, or as I call him, Silo. So anyway, have a good week. See you Tuesday, 8 o'clock, Whitty Reviews. Mouthwash, 9 o'clock. Adios.